Hello everyone, this is Charlotte, and this is a podcast called Chatting in Cars. It's where I talk about topics, often sensitive topics, on the way to work, but today, you're lucky. I'm not going to work, as you can tell. I'm going somewhere else. So, I'm going to go drop some eggs off at my brother's house for my nieces. So, it is Easter. We're going to have some fun. Or Esther, if you're anything like me. The harbinger of spring. Harbinger sounds like a horrible word, doesn't it? It's like harbinger of death. But yeah, Esther is the spring giver, the goddess, who brings all the new renewal. And this is where we get things like eggs from, and bunnies, and flowers, and baby chickens. Got nothing to do with Christ. It's like, there's for some reason the Judeo-Christians adopted it, so we're all like, yeah, everybody likes chocolate, let's get involved. So yeah, I'm more in line with that side of things than I am the Judeo-Christian, but I like to accept and keep my mind open that everybody's different, and we do it all, and we have a look, and we see what's nice. And it's good. So I'm heading to my brother's house. He's not a Christian or anything. He just likes the chocolate, I think. Plus he's got two nieces, well, my nieces, his daughters. And they're still young, so I like to give them nice things, you know, while they enjoy it, and they're still a little bit naive to the subject. Once they get to a certain age, they get a bit cynical. So, you know, so at this point, even though one of them's only 4 and the other's only about 1.5 or so, you know, they're still thinking the Easter Bunny's coming around to do stuff with them, and I'm like, oh, let's give them, let's give them something to enjoy. I do the same with Christmas as well. I celebrate Christmas mainly because I didn't do Christmas growing up. At the same time, you know, I'm not Christian, so it's just a nice time to be nice to people. So we just join in. You know, if I knew more about things like Diwali, I'd probably do that too. Actually, I like that light festival stuff. So I like to keep an open mind and look at everything, particularly anything to do with anything like light work or anything like that. It's always acceptable. I love that shit. Festival of lanterns, all that kind of stuff. But the topic for today is, and it's only a short one because there's going to be another one after this. The topic for today is healing. Healing is such a difficult thing to discuss because it's different for everyone. No two people are going to heal the same way. We all come from different viewpoints and life experiences, so what heals one person could potentially make it worse for another. So it's difficult to pinpoint the way you should be doing it, or if there's a correct way of doing it. But ultimately, it should be the end goal. A lot of people put off things like healing because it's too much to bear, or it's too much energy, or it's too much time consuming, or they're always busy. And the problem with that is that it perpetuates, you know, any kind of unhealed wounds or anything, and you can take out your pain on other people, for example. There's a saying where it's, oh, there's a fire up there. Easter fires, Australia. It's not even summer. There's a saying where if you don't heal your wounds, you bleed onto other people. And it's true because, you know, if you've got trauma based on, for example, relationship trauma, you're gonna hurt someone after that. Chances are you might hurt someone. If you manage to figure it out and get a grip on it, then it should be okay. But there's always a risk, and you don't want to hurt this person that you're trying to love, right? So you try to heal yourself. And this is going to be a conversation where I have to go into my knowledge banks and experiences. So you're going to hear me talk about divorce again, and breakups again, and probably my childhood trauma again. So if you want to switch off now, you absolutely can. You know about the disclaimer, so I'm not going over that again. It's doing my head in talking about that shit. You know I swear. Why else would you watch? I don't say anything worthy anyway. But you know, healing, it takes on many forms. The worst thing you can do is just medicate. Sorry, I still got like a weird dry cough after that flu. Still not COVID. I haven't had COVID yet. Weirdly, it's been how many years and I still have not had COVID. It's bullshit. How many years have we been doing this? When did the lockdown start? I mean, I had the 4 jabs. I had the Pfizer jabs. But no COVID. What the fuck? It's weird. It doesn't like me. I'm a niche product. Anyway, but healing comes in many different forms. And I would always, because I'm more inclined towards behavioural treatment of things rather than chemical treatment of things, I would hate towards finding ways to break habits and things which are always the band-aid solution to the initial trauma or, you know, negative stimulus. So if you've taken on anything like drugs or you know, sleeping around or stuff that potentially could destroy your life, it's usually a band-aid solution to try and numb the initial pain, which is the tricky part because people don't want to face the pain. Sometimes it's too overwhelming for some. I'm a bit brain dead in that regard because I just face it. I go, fucker. That hurts. But most of the time, my facing my things, my pain and traumas is more trying to understand why it occurred than anything. I spent the majority of my life asking why for everything. I was the annoying kid that constantly asked why when I did talk. I want to know why. It's like, we do this, but why? But why? Why do we do that? Because I'm trying to understand why we actually do things, so I have to, you know, weigh up whether it's worth actually doing it or not. Unless it came to like my parents, which was do what they say, otherwise you get hit. So, which has horrible residual effects after that. You tend to be compliant on a lot of things that you shouldn't be doing because they've caused the unhealed wounds. So, you know, that's something I've got to deal with long term. I do get myself into a lot of weird situations where I should have said no. For today, for example, because it's Easter, brakes. Because it's Easter, I was going to check up on my mum and my dad, because my mum still got she had a hip operation end of December, round about December. So she's not quite steady, even though it's like April. She's still working on it, mobile-wise. But my dad's, something's happened to my dad. Well, she's not been very clear on it, but apparently he's got a fever and he's in a hospital. I don't know if that's real. I don't know if it's a big thing or a small thing, because they never really give me any kind of substance to these suggestions. It's like, is he in hospital? Because the chances are I'll get there and he'll be out, and I'm like, what? But I did agree that I would go down on Friday just to check they're both all right. And now suddenly it's the weekend, so it's like, okay, there goes my Easter weekend, but okay, this is an emergency, we can do this. Now the unhealed part of me is looking at and saying, this is just another manipulation tactic. They've been doing this since I was a kid. They want something, they'll over-traumatize something to reel you in and get you to do what they want, and it turns out never as bad as you think it is. Or it's you know, it's always a crisis situation. Now these fuckers love drama. They fucking love it. So it's turned into sort of like a Peter Wolf, you know, the boy who cried wolf scenario. So I can't tell if they're being honest, if something's gone wrong, or if it's just a little thing, or if it's, you know, the gauge of how I need to react or what I need to do is thrown off, because they've already, you know, and they've done it several times before, they've already created this huge dramatic scenario because they love making mountains out of molehills. And then, you know, you get there and thinking, oh my god, and then it's nothing. You're like, you bastards, you keep doing this. So I'm playing this by ear. I'm the representative from the siblings to go off and find out what this adventure now is, because my brother's got his two little girls at home. And I'm trying not to feed into my unhealed side going, you fuckers. I'm hoping, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm saying it could be something serious, because my dad is not well, and he's 66, and he doesn't look after himself, so it could be something. And he smokes, and he does dumb shit. My mum has just had a hip surgery, so it could be something. But you kind of reason with yourself, it could be something. But at the same time, in the back of your head, you're going, it better not be a fucking, you know, it's like, it better not be. But then again, that's also feeding off the fact that I've just come off term and I am already burnt out. I'm already burnt out before these fuckers even called and said, you have to come down. I'm like, I'm already tired. So everything sort of feeds on itself. So healing is the harder part, especially when you're already burnt out, you're exhausted and dealing with shit in life. And then people pile more shit on top of that, and you're sitting there going, were I healthy, relaxed, and in a unstressed state right now, the depth of your assertions would hold more weight at this point. I'd say, oh my god, my dad's in hospital. Had I come from a healthy family background, the natural response would be, oh my God, my dad's in hospital, go. But at this point, given the family background and the way they've raised us with their tactics and the mind games, and I'm already tired, so I'm trying not to touch on that shit in my brain, because I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be all right. What was I really gonna do on my own anyway? You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna strip down to a mini V, eat eggs and be fat. That's what I was gonna do. It sounds like heaven to me, but you know, some people are like, you should hang out with people. I'm like, as a natural introvert, fuck off. Don't push me on that. Don't put that on me. I'd rather be around the house eating eggs, watching shit, and you know, semi-clothed. I mean, I don't want to be out doing social shit. I've just come off term. When I go into hermit mode, I go hermit mode. I don't want to know about anything or anyone. I'm out. Fuck off. That could be a trauma response. That could be just an introvert. That could be autism. That could be fucking anything. Everything's sort of clustered onto it. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is my natural inclination to not want to be outside my house. And then shit like this happens. So you got to deal with your unhealed self at some point, and it never goes away, because as soon as you think I've fixed this in my head, you'll get like a wave of it later on when you're more relaxed. Things like grieving over miscarriages, I still grieve over my miscarriages because I just haven't dealt with it. I haven't had a chance to gauge it properly. So, you know, I'll be sitting there watching TikTok reels on Instagram, and it'll be some cute baby thing turn up, and it'll be like, oh, isn't this cute? And then suddenly you're like, ooh. And it's not that I actually want to have babies or kids, but it's just not dealing with the situation when I should have, and just storing it away, and I'll deal with it later, and fuck it. It's not important right now, and I didn't want one anyway, and you know, it's all that brushing aside, and never actually dealing with the problem, and it creates a sort of canker in your soul that you never have to, you need to deal with, but you can't bring yourself to do it, and the longer you leave it, the more infected it gets, and it's just disgusting to look at, and you don't want to deal with it, and it's like, and you're angry with yourself that you left it this long, and it's like, and I've got like a sense of perfectionism, so I'm like, I need to deal with this and get it right, otherwise it's gonna fuck up, and I hate myself for it. So it's like, it feeds into all this self-loathing, and I feel like that's mostly why people avoid dealing with their shit when they can. I mean, my granddad Fred, the Viking guy, used to say, deal with it when the problems are small, that way they don't escalate, and he was really good with, he was a very wise man. You deal with the small problems now, otherwise they snowball, and he was absolutely right. He used to keep pushing that. He was also big on do the work now and get the reward later. He was a very Protestant mindset guy. We work now, we get the reward later. You know, there was no bailing out. I mean, he was a very soft, lovely man. I never heard a crossword from him. Never. My other granddad, Bob, was a bastard. But, you know, I learned a lot about money and stuff from him. Now I can't fault him altogether. But, you know, it's a lot of healing that you need to take on to deal with. Oh, I've got to be careful. It's double demerits, isn't it? Fucking speed is it here? I don't know. Let's wing it. Let's go with the universe. Can I afford to go with the universe today? Cost of living crisis. But you know, it's strange. It never ends. Like, you'll come up. Like, I've been divorced 4 years now. Every now and again, I still get angry because I'm like, it's remembering shit, or you can re-feel the hurt. It's horrible. It's like you're still in it. Like you can still feel like touch and shit like that, and you're like, I don't like it. I logically want to just cut and float it off, you know, like fuck that. I don't want to think about it anymore. And you do gradually come to do that. A lot of it's just letting go and releasing, and it's hard to do because even if you're still trying to understand it, it doesn't seem right that it happened to you, and you can't justify their actions because you're seeing it through your eyes, and you're saying, I would never do that to someone. Why would you do that to me? And then claim to, you know, love me and shit like that. So it's a very odd disconnecting of mindsets. And it's odd because you don't want to see that kind of person that you've been with for like 16 years as that kind of horrible villain person that suddenly just switched up on you. It's very weird. But again, it must be an extension of your ego, because you're saying I have to be right and I have to see this person this way, and whatever they're doing, even though clearly they're not the person you have in your mind and you've put on a pedestal, it just doesn't make sense that they would be this horrible. But clearly I was wrong. But can I admit that I was wrong and take them off that pedestal, when realistically there's evidence that they are not belonging on that pedestal? It's tricky tricky way to deal with your healing. It requires you to show humility and to admit that maybe you were wrong, and the part you played in putting this person on that pedestal, how you enabled them to put themselves on that pedestal. It's tricky. Humility is one of the hardest things. It is, because it also affects your self-esteem. If you've got low self-esteem as it is, it's going to be hard to humble yourself, because you're holding on to the shreds of what self-esteem you still have. You don't want to let those go, because it's the only thing I have. Is like, if I admit that I was wrong in this, then what else am I wrong in? And you just feel like you lose self-value. But realistically, being honest and approaching what are your inner demons and the fear of being seen as different, it's never less than, it's always different. People think they're less than for addressing their inner demons. No, it's just different. You need to approach that shit. Your self-esteem gets boosted afterwards when you feel like you've accomplished something anyway. If you can sort that out in your head, where your evils are coming from, and deal with them face on, not a chicken shit. This is why it happened. This is why it happened. This was the repercussions. If you can deal with that, you'll feel a hell of a lot more accomplished and braver afterwards, because you're like, I'm not running away from this. I know what this is. I can admit I was wrong. I'm taking accountability for my actions. This is what I'm going to do next, and I will learn from this, because fuck that happening again. It's that you've got to, punch the demon in the face. He's like, fuck you, boom. I'm not doing this again. Fuck you. And you've got to be brave about it. But people don't want it, because it might hurt, or it might mean that they were wrong, or their little slither of self-esteem they got left that's hanging on by a thread, and their dignity might get severed. But again, you always get a chance to rebuild every time. It's like your body's not going anywhere unless you let it. You've got all this time, however much you've got left, to rebuild and reform and see what you want to be next. So even if you do cut off that sliver of whatever attachment you've got to, say, a person or a scenario or a relationship or a business. Hello, person. What's he doing? He's in a car. You do get a chance to rebuild. And this time without the extra shit lying around, the clutter. When I got divorced, I lost everything. I went into debt. So when it came to reformulating what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, I was starting from less than scratch. I knew I had to get myself out of the hole I'd allowed myself to be dug into, which was near enough a grave. At times. It's a very dark time. It's weird times. But I knew once I got to that plateau level where I was just neutral, I could then start formulating what I wanted to be, where I was going, what felt natural to me, where I can go from here, how it's going to look, what I'm not going to tolerate anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck this. And you start putting up your boundaries and saying, that hurt me. I know from previous experience that's hurt me. I'm not going to allow it again. And some people will say, oh, it's just a trauma response. You've got trust issues. And it's like, I have trust issues because I've seen this, I've felt this, and I'm not allowing this to happen again. Now, I'm not saying if you've got trust issues, as I have, that you should just not trust anyone. I find it difficult to trust because I've had a plethora of people show me why I shouldn't fucking trust them. And that ranges from family members to friends to lovers to workplace colleagues, complete strangers in the street. That was a no-brainer, really. But I take them as a case-by-case basis. You're like, I'm going to be nice to you until you show me that I can't be nice to you. And I'm not saying be outright nasty. I'm just saying take your shit and leave. It's like with my ex-boyfriend, I was very nice. I was my natural self in a relationship. I'm very soft, cuddly, and I like cuddly stuff. I'm fluffy when it comes to love and romance and all that stuff, because I'm a diehard romantic. But at the same time, when I started noticing shit fucking up, and I started having to call him on his shady shit, I started lessening that. And I admit that. It's like I pulled back. I'm going, I don't understand this. Why are there condoms in your top of your bedroom, whatever it is? What are those little drawers next to your bed? There was condoms and a tablet of some kind. I'm like, oh, what is this? He says ecstasy or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck's that? Why are there 2 toothbrushes or multiple toothbrushes in the house, like hanging up, haven't been used? It's like, why are there extra wine glasses? All these things that staggered across the amount of time we were together, and I refuse to call that a relationship. Each time I found one of those, I'm like, it's like, wait a minute, some shit's going down and you're not admitting it. And it was always a case of, I don't know, or just admitting, or you're catastrophizing, or you're paranoid, or you know. And I'm sitting there going, I'm pulling back, not because I don't want to fucking give something, but I'm pulling back because you're showing me why I can't trust you. Because you keep lying, or you keep omitting, or it's just... and by the end of it, I was happy to go. I'm like, I feel nothing here. There is no reason to stay. There's no feelings here anymore because it's been absolute betrayal. So what the fuck are we bothering for? I don't understand why you're still trying to pull me back in. I don't understand it. And I came to the conclusion it's more for sex and alcohol at that point, and me paying for his groceries. I'm going, this is not a relationship. This is exploitation. So I was more than happy to leave by the end of that. And that was my own sense of healing as well. Because from all these little micro betrayals, the little lies, the omissions, you start recognizing, I've seen this pattern before. I know where this goes. I know how I felt when it happened last time. I'm not allowing you to do this to me. No. No. I'm going to save myself this time. I'm going to heal myself further and recognize that you are not the person I hoped you were. When I saw all this good in this person, or I was hoping, I was hoping to see, something of a 40-year-old man that could be reliable, sustainable, because you hope it comes with age, but it doesn't. It comes with experience, maturity. I put him on this pedestal, and he was just nothing like what I had hoped he would be. And that was his choice. I told him up front, I feel like you are this kind of a person. And he fed on it, and it's like, you don't use that as a benchmark to lie to someone. You try to be that person if you're not that already, He played on it, and so then thinking you're just lying more, you're just faking who you are in order to get what you want, which wasn't helpful, because in the end it worked against him, because I'm not like, you're just not even what I need you to be, or want you to be, or even what you presented yourself to be, because once love bombing phase is over, it's done and dead. You're like, hey, you're an asshole. It's like, so you do tend to pull back your troops, right? This is not our fight, motherfucker. Bye-bye. I'm taking all my munitions. I'm taking my soldiers. If you haven't learned from here what the fuck you're not supposed to be doing, I can't help you, bitch. Drown. It's like, I can't help you. I'm not wasting my resources on helping someone who doesn't want to fucking swim. Fuck you. You're on your own. You don't want to. You don't want to heal. You don't want to try. You don't want to get anywhere. You don't want to do anything that doesn't involve getting, the surface cream off the milk and fuck anything else. So it's like, nah. Reward without pay? I fucking think not. Reward without work. Should I say? Pay without work. But it's ridiculous. And that was my healed self. Because normally, like when I was married, I was very much brushing shit under the rug. I didn't question anything. And my marriage came before that relationship. So I learned and I healed a great deal in that gap, the 2-year gap between the relationship or the situationship and my ex-marriage. At the very least, I started picking up and observing things. Like, I was tolerating him while I was with my ex-boyfriend, and I was forgiving him constantly, and I kept coming back, and I'm like, there's got to be something to do with like trauma or something on his part or something like that. But realistically, I wasn't looking at my own trauma and how I was kept allowing this shit to happen by forgiving him and letting it just sit and play out. And it's, okay, I'll just go with the flow. I don't judge. Blah, blah, blah. And you sit there and think, wait a minute, I should judge because I'm not protecting myself by allowing this. This person is going to ride this out as long as he fucking can because it's a good thing and it's free. who doesn't love a good thing that's free? And, you know. So I had to really pull back on that, which was sad, because I was really hoping, because I met this guy early 20s. I think I was about 22 when I met him. First fling, not a good idea. And then I actually managed to date him when he was just about turning 40, I think. So I thought in that span of 18 years or so, he might have grown up. And I had held out hope for him that he might have grown up, given the timing and what time does over age. It might mature him, you know, sort of thing. And he's gone through some life experiences. He might have understood what he needs to do, or be able to grow. No. He was still trying to be a fucking 20-year-old. I'm like, dude. Hurry the fuck up, dude. I'm like, and by the end it just became pathetic. I'm going, what the fuck is this? I wasn't even angry, really. I was kind of, because I'm like, I can't believe you tried to pull this shit with me. This might work with the dumb bitches at the local, but it doesn't work with me. I can see your shit. It's like, I can straight up and down, I can see you lying. So that was a blessing in itself. Come from my healing, was be able to identify the shit when it was happening. I'm going, and then question whether it's worth hanging around for. I'm going, am I going to be doing this for the next 40 years, following this dumbass pub to pub, trying to find out where he is with who, and it's a small fucking drama and it's worth. I'm not doing it. Fuck this. And I left. I'm like, no. I'm not, no. My life is not going to be filled with your fucking drama and insecurities. I don't have those ones. I have other ones to deal with. I'm not taking on your fucking baggage because you can't get your shit together. Don't think you should have to. So I'm like, fuck off. And that was one of the benefits of me facing the horrible experiences I had with divorce and stuff like that, because you come to know yourself and what you're not going to take. And I might have come across as a bitch for leaving him. You know, I don't know what stories he told his friends, probably that I'm crazy or some shit like that, or I'm a bitch, you know, anything to defend his position on that situation to friends that he supposedly values, even though he bitches about behind their back all the fucking time. It's a constant competition with those fuckwits. I don't know why they hang around each other. Anyway, it's weird. That's not friendship. Anyway, but, you know, I would rather be the bitch and know that I'm protecting myself and my assets, and know that I'm not getting played by some fuckwit who wants to fucking whore around again. And it's like, you just haven't fucking grown up, and you refuse to, because it's the only time in your life where you had any sense of semblance of value, and you keep trying to relive it. And he was quite attractive in his early 20s, but he fails to recognize he's now 40. Shit changes. It's like, grow up. Admit the change is occurring and grow the fuck up. There's nothing creepier than a 40-year-old dude trying to fuck 20-year-olds by getting them drunk. It's, grow up. It's creepy, you Epsteinian fuck. You know? Ew. And I've been there, because I was once that early 20-year-old girl with the creepy old dudes hanging around at house parties. I'm like, bitch, fuck off. I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you. I find you creepy as shit. I'm being nice to you because we have to, otherwise I get kicked out of the house party. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. But these fucking older guys are like, I'm still young. It's like, you fucking are not. Ew. Let it go. Fuck's sake, do we have to sing the fucking song? Let it fucking go, boy. Let it go. You have aged. Find someone age appropriate and go with that. Clearly we're in different cycles of our lives. You need to pick someone around your age group, you fucking psychopath. But they can't let go. And they're unhealed because obviously they've been stuck in some kind of trauma cycle where they actually have low self-esteem, possibly, because they keep trying to relive the point of life in their existence where they actually had some sense of value. Maybe it's high school, maybe it's uni, maybe it's their early 20s when their dick still worked and they didn't have to lace everything with Viagra. I don't fucking know. Speaking from experience. But, you know, it's like everything. Yeah, there was no problem with leaving that one. It's like, you have fun without me. I suggest you get a flashlight and save yourself some embarrassment. But, you know, they don't want to fucking grow up. They've got some mental issue there where they're stuck in time. And they refuse to address it. Because if they address it, then they lose value in themselves. And it might be a shred of dignity that they have left from their early 20s. But you're missing out on so much more because you're not willing to age and embrace what comes with age and change. They just don't want to. Different cycles of life. Can't admit that it's happened. Can't admit that they might be getting close to death. I don't know. Maybe there's that. Oh shit. Who's here? I'm at my brother's house and I've just seen, I think it's my dad's car. Anyway. Wait, why are you here? You're in hospital. Oh, you bastard. If he's here. Oh. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, my dad's in hospital. Why are you here? I hope, no, I think that is his. Oh, fuck off. Oh, you fucker. Anyway. Maybe it's mum's. I don't know. Anyway, that's my life right now. I'm hoping you guys have a fantastic Easter. It's Saturday. And I will chat to you. Whose car is that? That's gonna bug me. It's not you bastard. I hope you have a fantastic Easter. I'm now about to walk into a situation where I'm just less than impressed. I don't like this. This is part of the cloak and dagger shit that I'm like, why do you keep lying? There's that song, why you always lying? Stop fucking lying. And every time I interact with people, it's like, why are you lying? I gotta figure out who this car is. It looks like my dead granddad's, mum and dad's. Anyway, I gotta go. I hope you have a fantastic Easter. I hope it's not full of shit like mine is. Although it's usually involving family and most people have issues anyway. So have a good one. Take it easy. Eat a lot of chocolate. Do it for me when I can't be, you know, semi-naked sitting around my house doing fuck all. Do it for me. I need to live vicariously through you guys, okay? And I will chat to you later on the way back, hopefully.